Happy super new moon in Libra. This Libra new moon becomes exact on Saturday, September 28th at 2:26 p.m. Eastern Time or 1826 Greenwich Mean Time. As a reminder, a supermoon occurs when the moon is physically closer to the Earth than usual, thus amplifying its effects. With so many planets in Libra, achieving balance in relationships is the main theme for this new moon. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus are all in this sign that is represented by scales. The scales are, of course, referring to the natural inclination of this sign to seek balance in all things. Libra is ruled by Venus, which governs relationships, money, romance, and beauty. We have an opportunity right now to make choices that will put things into motion for us to create greater balance in those areas. One of the most fascinating parts of my service work is that I have the special ability to read the karmic ties between two people. You can be assured that those people in your life whom you have the most complicated relationships with, think family members, close friends, and romantic lovers, are the people that you've known before in past lives. You see, souls like to dress up and play different characters in each other's plays. Your mother may have been your brother in another lifetime. Your husband may have been your daughter in another lifetime. Souls who know each other well often incarnate with each other over and over. These souls who you know well may be fellow souls in your soul group of 12. When two souls who know each other quite well dress up as different characters and have different relationships between each other in a series of lifetimes, karma is accumulated between these two souls. In this context, think of karma as a log of every word spoken, every thought had, and every experience shared between two souls when they're incarnated at the same time on Earth. Your history with your current boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, or dad is likely goes much deeper than just what you can remember from your current lifetime. The natural trajectory of all things is balance and resolution, and it's no different in this case. Each soul desires to resolve any past negative karma with other souls. Sometimes it is planned for the resolution to happen in this lifetime, but sometimes not. Sometimes the resolution may be planned for a subsequent lifetime or for after one of the souls has left their physical body and is resting, deprogramming, and serving as a spirit guide, for example, up in heaven. As light workers, we naturally want to resolve everything. We generally carry a deep down aversion to people being mad at us or disappointed in us. Light workers tend to be martyrs and people pleasers rather than narcissists. However, although the natural trajectory of all karmic relationships is complete resolution, as I said, that doesn't always occur here on Earth. One of the most difficult lessons for many light workers to learn is when and how to cut someone out of your life. Please receive these words clearly and with compassion. You are under no obligation to continue to receive someone's abuse or negative energy simply because they are your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father, friend, or coworker. You have complete free will to cut anyone out of your life if you feel so inclined. I know that this is not an easy thing to talk about, but you are likewise under no obligation to continue to be emotionally and energetically drained by someone, no matter your history with them. I realize that sometimes it is not practical or possible to cut someone out of your life completely, but in many relationships, the solution may be to interact with that person less. You don't have to pick up the phone every time someone calls. You don't have to respond to every text. You don't have to hang out with that person every time they're feeling sad or want to complain about their boyfriend. You don't have to allow yourself to be drained. You do not have to tolerate it. But there are, of course, relationships that you do want to keep, and it's not, you don't want to avoid the other person completely, but there are some difficulties in the relationship that need to be worked through. For these kinds of relationships, we can harness all that Libra energy in the stars to harmonize the relationships. With Mercury in Libra, the most important factor that will give us the opportunity to harmonize our relationships is effective communication. Now and over the next few days is the perfect time to broach uncomfortable subjects with others whom we care about. When you do go ahead and address what needs to be addressed, it's important that you are firm about what your needs are in the relationship, but also make sure you're listening to what the other person is saying. We want to be firm and have our ears open at the same time so we can understand where the other person is coming from. Because so often what is causing these issues is just miscommunication. The Libra energies support a healthy back and forth dialogue. Unquestionably, the one factor that differentiates successful, harmonious, long-lasting romantic relationships from those that come and go with frustration is effective communication. When things are left unsaid between lovers, it actually builds up a tension within both parties. Even the most asleep person can sense that something is amiss when a lover isn't telling them something important. There are cases where people stay married for decades while still holding back from telling their partner their true feelings. Oftentimes, people get into a long-term relationship and things become familiar. They end up literally becoming afraid of what life would be like without their partner. They may wish they could change their partner, but they believe it would be a futile attempt. Afraid to leave the marriage, they just bottle that resentment up inside. This type of resentment can manifest itself as cancer years down the line if these feelings are not dealt with and the necessary difficult conversations are not had. I always wanted to make sure I would never, ever end up in one of these marriages. So I make it a point to make sure I'm always communicating my needs with the person I'm dating and listening with an open heart to their needs. If we really want to build fifth-dimensional partnerships, the most important facet is open communication. When the communication is open from the start, it is a lot less likely that one partner will ever feel afraid to bring something up to the other later in the relationship. If you've been in a relationship for a while where the energy feels stagnant and you feel like there's a lot that has been left unsaid, one helpful tip is to plan an excursion out in public and plan to have that difficult conversation there. Or alternatively, just go on a walk with your partner. Getting outside of your home, if you live with your partner, in which the energy has become stagnant, into a fresh environment with fresh energy, can also bring a fresh energy to the way that you and your partner have become accustomed to communicating with one another. Of course, the truth is sometimes relationships are irreparable, at least for the time being. Sometimes a relationship requires a period of separation before two people can really come back and repair what had been damaged. Or sometimes a relationship needs to reach its conclusion, and that karma that was built up will need to be worked through in a future lifetime or in the afterlife. Pluto Station means scandals and breaking free from addictions. Tiny but mighty Pluto officially completes its 5-month retrograde phase on October 3rd, but it remains stationary until October 22nd. A planet is stationary when it appears to stop its motion as it prepares to change directions. When a planet is stationary, its influence is exalted. So over this new moon and the weeks following it, the Plutonian themes of sex, money, death, addiction, and transformation and power will be at the forefront of both the conscious and unconscious minds of both individuals and the collective. Scandals are likely to unfold during a Pluto station. We are seeing this happen now with the Trump impeachment inquiry here in the United States. More hidden stuff, like think back to the whole Epstein thing that went on a few months ago, could come out before October 22nd. People's bullshit monitors will likely be activated during this time. It will be hard to keep secrets from those who are close to you. Think back to what I wrote about how to pay attention to the lesson of Libra in achieving balance in relationships through communication. Pluto Station is all the more reason to heed this advice, as it's likely that the energies of this station will bring any darkness in relationships to light so that they can be negotiated. Individually, you can expect that your own darkness may come to surface in order to be renegotiated as well. Addictions may resurface or be exacerbated during this time. Anger may come out of nowhere. Be patient with yourself if stuff does come up. It's always an invitation for you to move into a new level of your mastery. If addiction is something you struggle with, then this is the perfect time to break free. One of the things that I've found from my years of experience working with clients from around the world in my one-on-one sessions is that addictive tendencies often coincide with guilt and shame stored within. When someone finally makes a decision to go for therapy and to work through their guilt and shame, they may find themselves naturally building up the strength to tackle their addiction. It's important to also note that many addictions are chemical in nature, and because of that, it is important to also support the body biochemically through nutrition and supplements so that you give yourself the best chance at breaking through to the other side. If this is something you'd like assistance with, I'd certainly be happy to recommend some supplements that you can run by your doctor or healthcare practitioner if you take part in one of my intuitive nutrition readings. Wishing you a balanced and happy super new moon in Libra. With love, this is Matthew John. If you're not familiar with who I am a spiritual teacher, spiritual mentor, international speaker, starseed guide, intuitive healer, and quantum energy healer working directly with the Ascended Masters. I'm a gifted intuitive wisdom channeler and transmitter of healing frequencies. I've been on an over decade-long healing and awakening and ascension journey. You can go to my website if you want to check me out and check out more of my work. It's youaredivinehuman.org, all spelled out, youaredivinehuman.org. I have an entire library of articles and videos as a resource for you. And I also do offer private sessions with people worldwide via phone, Skype, and WhatsApp. And what I'm doing now is looking to enroll some people in my very popular spiritual mentoring program to start next month in October. And here's what you get, just a little synopsis of what you get with this spiritual mentoring program. It's intended to be an all-encompassing healing package that addresses your physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and karmic healing needs. The first session we do a soul plan reading and a spiritual mentoring session. So I am going to connect with your guides and my helper guides to read your life plan. What is in store for you in your future? I'm going to take a look at some glimpses into your past lives. I'm going to read the meanings behind significant events that you've experienced already in your life. What was the karma that was being balanced? What is the karma you're still working through now? What are the karmic ties between, as I talked about earlier, your family members or your boyfriend or girlfriend? What needs to be worked through? How does the relationship get healed in this lifetime? Is it meant to be healed in this lifetime? Or as I said, does it have to wait until the afterlife or next lifetime? So I'm going to read all that for you, do some mentoring on all that, help you really understand your life on a totally new level that you probably have not understood before. The second session, we do a quantum energy healing session where we do specific visualization techniques and healing processes, including psychic energy healing on your chakras and a complete cleansing of your aura on all levels to get anything you don't need in your aura out of there. People always report feeling just fantastic after the session, really light, grounded, and activated. You get that in the second session. Third session, we do the intuitive nutrition reading, as I mentioned, whether you're suffering with addiction, chronic illness, any sort of debilitating health issues, or you're in pretty good health, but you just want to know what's the best diet for me long term, what's going to really keep me healthy and keep me here on the planet for the longest time, most likely. I'm going to read that for you, and I'm also going to do a chakra scan for you to read the health of each of your chakras. I'm going to tell you exactly which chakras you need to focus on, how to do that, what it all means. And then in the fourth session, you get a Starseed discovery session. Super cool. You get to take an astral journey to your home planet to find out where you actually come from in the stars. Do you come from the Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus? Do you come from somewhere else? Do you come from a different galaxy? Do you come from Andromeda Galaxy or another galaxy? You'll find out for sure. You'll find out why you're here, what your Starseed mission is in this planet, and also get an activation from your guides and just establish a much closer rapport with your Starseed self and your Starseed guides. So you get all that. You also get 2 very popular bonus webinars, Putting the Past in the Past and Mastering Your Intuition. That's just the package A. Package B, you get all that plus a past life regression session. You travel back to the most relevant past lives that your higher self would like you to see and experience, to experience who you were in past lives, what were the karmic relationships that relate to your karmic relationships now. Again, who was your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or son in that past life. You get to actually experience it. It's really cool, but it's also very informative. And you also realize why you're working through the soul lessons that you're working through in this lifetime. And in the 6-session package C, you get all that plus a future life progression as well. So you get to travel forward in your astral body into the future in this lifetime to experience your highest possible timeline. What is the highest possible future that your soul has planned out for you in your life plan? You get to experience it firsthand. You get to see it. You get to feel it. And you also get 4 additional bonus webinars with the package C, a deeper level of forgiveness, awakening the divine masculine, navigating the dark night of the soul, dissolving the ego. And I do also offer a package D, and there's several options for long-term coaching and support options. And you can check all those out on my website, youaredivinehuman.org, and just click on private sessions, and it's the first tab under that, spiritual mentoring, awakening coaching. I do also offer each and every one of these sessions individually. Check those all out on my website. If you have any questions about this super new moon, or if you have any questions about the spiritual mentoring program, or about anything else that I offer on my website, the easiest way to get in contact with me is go to my website. Again, youaredivinehuman.org. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see a little pop-up. It has my picture on it. It says Matthew John. Have questions, ask Matthew. All you do, it's so easy. You click on that little tab and type in your question. It'll ask you for your email address. Type in your email address, and I will email you back usually within 12 hours. And any questions that even any personal questions. If you have a brief personal question that would not require a full reading, then I'm happy to answer that for you in the email. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening to this transmission. I am wishing you a balanced and wonderful and happy super new moon. Again, the focus is relationships. So give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Give other people the benefit of the doubt. But like we talked about, if you feel like you need to make changes in your relationships, do it now. Do it now. Don't let it fester any longer. Make the changes in your relationships now that will help serve the life that you want to create. If you want to live a life of peace and relationships in your life are not making you feel at peace, it's up to you to shift that or at least ameliorate it so you can have a little bit more peace than you did before. So work on that during this time. It's all about relationships during Libra season. All right, everyone. So thank you again for listening, and I will talk to you on the full moon.